Holy shit. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. This one's going out to Niner fans, near, far, NFL fans, sports fans. Y'all are welcome here. Today we are going over the Niners' big win in Cincinnati on the road to put us above 500, firmly in the wild card spot. First off, I just want to say total bummer that I didn't get to stream this game, not just because I couldn't interact with you guys, but wow, what a game. I watched the whole game through after the fact, and it was, just a very interesting game, a wild game, and there's a lot to talk about, so I just kind of want to jump in. This is going to be somewhat of a free-flowing conversation about the game. I didn't really have anything crazy prepared for it, but wow, what a game, what an ending, so many twists and turns, but the good guys came out in the end. The Niners win, and we're looking good, so great game. So, a couple of things that I want to start off with by saying is that the superstar players for the 49ers, they showed out big time. George Kittle, 151 receiving yards and a touchdown after his huge game against Seattle. Just the last 2 weeks, he's been unstoppable. Not only that, Deebo Samuel, after missing the Seattle game, comes back, has a big touchdown for the 49ers. Relatively quiet aside from that, but still got a huge touchdown, put us on the board initially, got that first early significant lead. Nick Bosa, holy moly, 2 sacks today, or again on Sunday, 14 on the season. He leads the NFL in tackle for loss. The guy is just on a mission. He's about to get paid crazy money, and he'll be worth every penny because Nick Bosa is just a monster. Trent Williams, did you see that? I'm going to put up the clip where he just tosses this Bengal player aside like it's nothing. The blocking for Garoppolo, even though the Bengals had 5 sacks, when it mattered most, the blocking for the 49ers was pretty darn good. That last drive in the fourth quarter, and then obviously in overtime. The stars really came out to play. Fred Warner was pretty solid. Azeez Al-Shaair was great. Looks like he got hurt, but he's actually going to be totally fine. Maybe we'll miss a game, but overall, super lucky that we dodged a bullet at Al-Shaair because he's been a superstar this year. And really proud of how the team played. The Niners definitely dominated up pretty much the first 3 quarters of the game, and not necessarily because of our own awesome play, but because of numerous blunders by the Bengals where Phillips, I think, is the Bengals player on punt returns. He fumbled it twice to really set up the Niners for scoring positions. But it was in the fourth quarter. That's when Cincinnati really found their groove. And I watched the post-game interview with their quarterback, Joe Burrow, who's fantastic, by the way. And he said, the Niners were doing a lot of different looks, different things, and it took them a while to figure it out. But eventually they did, and it was around the fourth quarter when they figured it out, and that's when they put up 14 points in the fourth quarter. When you're playing rookies like Ambry Thomas and Lenore, and when you have the likes of T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, it's only a matter of time before those guys will get their yards. Chase obviously burned us on 2 big plays. The first touchdown, both catches for touchdowns were awesome from Burrow to Chase. The first one, Burrow scrambled around, made a play. The second one was just a perfect pass. Ambry Thomas had okay coverage on the play, but Jamar Chase, great route, great pass from Burrow, and all you can do is give them props for that. The defense held strong in overtime. In overtime, obviously you just want to stop them, or if you can hold them to 3, then you still give your offense a chance. And the defense, with all these players missing, we're starting, think about it, we're missing our top 2 cornerbacks. we're missing our second linebacker. We're missing D Ford. We're missing Javon Kinlaw, a first-round pick. We're missing a bunch of guys. So let's give credit to D'Amico for calling a great game. The defense had 5 sacks in the game. We had a couple of turnovers from those fumble recoveries, but overall they played out of their minds, all things considered, when you consider Bengals, great offense, and the 49ers missing a lot of players on defense. But wow, that final drive in overtime. Jimmy was fantastic. A great pass, and Jauaun Jennings made a really nice grab. Of course, Kittle had a couple of big catches too. And then, what can you say about that touchdown play by Brandon Ayuk? That was all Ayuk. I don't know how he kept his feet in bounds, but he did, and it was great. And even though it kind of, if they called it on the field and then we're celebrating and we go home, that's great. But they eventually got the call right, and wow, just what a win, big time win for the team. Obviously, you're on the road against a good opponent, and you have to score either a field goal or a touchdown. Niners went a little bit aggressive, made the plays when it needed, and wow, just. It's really just a great overall performance. There were definitely times where the offense sputtered a little bit. I think Cincinnati's defense played pretty darn well. But I'm super stoked on how the team played. And as much as, the stars showed out, I do want to give a shout out to a number of other players. Most notably at Jauaun Jennings, a number of key blocks, big time catches in overtime. That was awesome. Ayuk is really starting to come into his own. He had 62 yards and, of course, the big touchdown at the end. Guys even like Tom Compton on the offensive line, who's been somewhat of a journeyman in his NFL career, made a key block on that Deebo Samuel touchdown, and he graded out on PFF really well. It's great to see Arden Keyes got in there with another half sack, so that's about 4 or 5 straight games where Arden Key has either had a sack or a half sack. Ebukam on that same play, Ebukam and Key split the sack. That was maybe one of his best plays as a 49er to get Burrow down as well. So the defense showed out. I'm just really proud of how the guys responded in a really tough situation when the Bengals made a huge comeback. We drove down. Robbie Gould misses the game-winning field goal, where he has not been good as goals lately. The last few games, he's been way off. But he misses the field goal, and then you're thinking, all the momentum is with Cincinnati. Then Cincinnati wins the coin toss, and, they drive it down, they kick a field goal. But wow, just how the team responded on that final drive was incredible. Just wow, what a great game, and a huge win for the 49ers, because that puts us a game ahead of Washington in the wild card spot. So we are the number 6 seed and they are the 7 seed. And here's the great thing, is that some of the other teams in that pecking order, you got Minnesota, we own the tiebreaker over them for beating them. Philadelphia, we own the tiebreaker over them. So it's looking pretty good. We have a couple of very winnable games coming up. We got Atlanta coming up. Then we play a game against Tennessee and Geezer's Tennessee Titans. And, Tennessee, just you never know what kind of Tennessee is going to show up on the day. It could be good Tennessee or bad Tennessee. Obviously, I'm kind of hoping for bad Tennessee so that, we can get a couple wins. We play the Texans, which is another game that we absolutely should win. And then finally, last game of the season. And I was really hoping the Cardinals would knock off the damn Rams, but we played the Rams in the final game of the season, and that could be a big game in terms of, deciding seeding order for the playoffs. So great performance, and honestly, great performance by Garoppolo too. You got to give him credit. After that Seattle game, and he a lot of criticism, and honestly, well-deserved criticism, but he really showed out and made a couple of really nice plays. That first touchdown to George Kittle, I think it was just towards the end of the half, where he went through his progressions and then just made a great play to Kittle. Kittle what can you say about George Kittle? The crazy catches, that catch that led up to the Robbie Gould ultimately missed field goal. But Jimmy made a great play there, because I believe that was on 3rd down, and I think 5 or 10 or something like that. So, but a great play, great throw by Jimmy to hang in the pocket. Kittle obviously makes a fantastic catch. And just got to give credit to Garoppolo, and hopefully Garoppolo can build off of this and, really make some keep up his performance, to lead us into the playoffs with a bunch of momentum and ultimately, boost his trade value, which will help the team. But Let's also not forget, guys, the Niners have really turned it around in the turnover battle, which has been huge in terms of the last 5 games. The Niners have won 4 of the last 5 games and almost came back and beat Seattle. In the last 5 games, the Niners are positive 7 in the turnover battle, which is just... That's a huge contributing reason to why the 49ers are now firmly in the playoff hunt. We got to keep that going as we move forward to Atlanta, and hopefully we can do that. The defense has been really stepping up after some bad weeks. The special teams had a nice bounce back game, recovering 2 fumbles, and the turnover battle is so critical, and I think the Niners the last 5 weeks are just a perfect example of that. Wow, what a performance. That reaction in the locker room, folks. That reaction in the locker room was awesome to see, and you can just tell how close this team is. And hopefully we'll start getting some guys coming back healthy soon. Dre Greenlaw would be nice to get back. Hopefully Elijah Mitchell is back for the next game. Our running game wasn't nearly what it normally was. Of course, Cincinnati was out to stop it, but awesome game, guys. Gonna have a couple more videos coming out this week, which I'm super stoked for. And I will be streaming the Falcons game, I will be streaming the Titans game, and I believe I'm also for sure going to be streaming the Texans game. So again, bummer, sorry about not being able to stream the Bengals game. Would have been a fun one, but hey, the good guys won in the end, and you know what, guys, really at this point there's only one thing left to say, is that I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side.